7 major driving law changes hit New Jersey in 2026, and they're going to cost every Garden State driver significantly more money. We're talking about a historic gas tax jump to 49.1 cents per gallon, America's first ever e-bike licensing requirement, and the biggest transformation of New Jersey's transportation laws in decades. If you drive in New Jersey, you need to understand these changes before they slam your wallet. This is a perfect storm of new regulations and fees affecting virtually every driver in the state, with some deadlines that could result in hefty fines if you're caught unprepared. Let me break down exactly how much this will cost the average New Jersey driver, starting with what's already costing you your hard-earned money. On January 1st, New Jersey rolled out its largest gas tax increase in recent memory, a 4.2-cent jump through the PPGRT, or Petroleum Products Gross Receipts Tax, that brings the total state gas tax to 49.1 cents per gallon for regular gasoline and 56.1 cents for diesel. State Treasurer Elizabeth Maher Moyo explained this increase was necessary due to the new statutory target and because actual consumption has dropped below last fiscal year's levels. What makes this particularly painful? New Jersey already ranks among the top 10 states with the highest gas taxes in the country. This increase addresses a $23.8 million shortfall in the Transportation Trust Fund, which pays for road and bridge maintenance across the state. But the gas tax is just the beginning. Here's your 2026 deadline calendar every New Jersey driver needs to know. January 1st brought the gas tax hike. January 4th hit us with coordinated 3% toll increases. January 19th, 2026, saw Governor Phil Murphy sign the historic e-bike law on his final day in office, just one day before Governor Mikey Sherrill was sworn in, and July 19th is your final deadline for e-bike compliance. Starting January 4th, drivers face that coordinated 3% toll increase across virtually every major highway and bridge in the region, all connected to the Port Authority's massive $45 billion infrastructure plan. The New Jersey Turnpike and Garden State Parkway both implemented their increases on New Year's Day. For EZ Pass users, peak tolls jumped from $16.06 to $16.79. While off-peak tolls rose from $14.06 to $14.73. If you're still paying by plate, you're looking at an increase from $22.38 to $23.05. These seemingly small percentage increases add up to real money for daily commuters who cross these bridges and use these highways regularly. Someone making just one round trip per day could be paying hundreds of dollars more per year. It's frustrating that these costs keep climbing while many households are already stretched thin trying to keep up with rising expenses for groceries, gas, and everything else. The Garden State Parkway barrier plazas saw an 8-cent increase while most entry and exit points added 3 cents to their tolls. These increases fund $2.3 billion of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority's $2.8 billion budget for 2026. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey also jumped on the toll increase bandwagon, raising rates by 3% on January 4th for all bridges and tunnels under its jurisdiction. This includes the George Washington Bridge, Lincoln Tunnel, and Holland Tunnel. During peak hours, EZ Pass tolls rose to $16.79, up from $16.06. These increases directly fund that $45 billion infrastructure plan addressing aging transportation networks across the region. Even the Delaware River Joint Toll Bridge Commission got in on the action, increasing tolls to $2 for EZ Pass users and $5 for vehicles without EZ Pass. The most dramatic change happened on the Atlantic City Expressway, which became New Jersey's first state highway to operate completely without cash on January 4th. Along with going cashless, the expressway implemented its own 3% toll increase. For a passenger car traveling the full length from Route 42 to Atlantic City, you'll now pay $6.30 with EZ Pass and $13.60 via toll by plate. Here's what makes the Atlantic City Expressway situation particularly frustrating for drivers. Since 2020, tolls on this highway have increased 5 times. There was a massive 37% jump in 2020, and by the end of 2025, cumulative increases totaled 49%. With the 2026 hike, drivers are looking at a 5-year total increase of about 52%. Officials say about 90% of drivers on the Atlantic City Expressway already have EZ Pass, but that 10% who don't are now completely out of luck for cash payments. The $159 million cashless system includes 11 overhead gantries and could serve as a model for similar systems on the New Jersey Turnpike and Garden State Parkway in the future. The toll increases are part of what's called an inflation-based indexing system that's been in place since 2020, allowing authorities to raise tolls annually by 3%. Before this system, tolls went up less frequently but in much bigger jumps, like the 50% increase approved in 2012. This approach mirrors congestion pricing strategies being implemented across major metropolitan transportation networks. Under the new law, e-bikes are classified as low-speed electric bikes with pedal assist up to 20 miles per hour, motorized bikes with throttle assist up to 28 miles per hour, and electric motorized bicycles that can exceed 28 miles per hour. Riders must be at least 17 with a valid driver's license or at least 15 with a motorized bike license. Children 14 and younger are completely banned from using motorized bicycles or scooters. The law also includes strict helmet requirements. Anyone under 17 riding any bicycle or low-speed e-bike must wear a safety helmet, while riders of motorized bicycles must wear helmets at all times, regardless of age. Here's the critical deadline every e-bike owner needs to know. You have until July 19, 2026 to obtain proper licensing, registration, and insurance. Violations can result in fines of up to $50, though courts may dismiss charges if valid documents are produced later. The state is waiving examination, licensing, and registration fees for the first year, but after that, you'll pay regular fees. Governor Murphy defended the law, stating that it's clear we're in an age of increasing e-bike use that requires us to take action and update regulations that help prevent tragedies from occurring. Making roads safer for all users has been a key priority for his administration. The law was prompted by several tragic accidents, including the death of a 13-year-old boy from Scotch Plains who collided with a landscaping truck while riding his e-bike in September. State lawmakers felt compelled to act quickly following these fatalities. However, the law has faced fierce criticism from cycling advocates. Deborah Kagan, executive director of the New Jersey Bike Walk Coalition, argued that this bill creates barriers to developing micro-mobility in the state as a safer, more equitable, and more sustainable part of our transportation system. The advocacy group People for Bikes went even further, claiming the law sets New Jersey up to become the most unfriendly state for bicycling in the country. Critics point out that the law restricts low-speed e-bike use while not adequately addressing the real safety issues posed by high-speed motorized devices. They argue that everyday commuters who use e-bikes to travel to work and school are being swept up in regulations designed to address problems with much faster motorcycle-like vehicles. There's also an enforcement concern. The 2019 e-bike laws included insurance requirements for e-motos that were supposed to be registered with the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission, but cycling advocates say these requirements were never enforced. When Deborah Kagan requested state data on e-motor registrations, none seemed to exist. Electric vehicle owners are also facing increased costs in 2026. The annual zero-emission vehicle fee has risen to $270, up from $260 in 2025. This fee increases by $10 each year through 2028, when it will cap at $290. These fees contribute to the Transportation Trust Fund to support infrastructure projects, essentially replacing the gas tax revenue that electric vehicles don't generate. Another significant change that took effect this year involves new driver training requirements under Kiley's law framework. New Jersey, previously one of only 3 states without mandatory practice hours for new drivers, now requires permit holders under 21 to complete 50 hours of supervised practice driving, including 10 hours at night over a 6-month period. The supervised driving must be conducted with an adult who is at least 21 years old, has a valid New Jersey driver's license, and has a minimum of 3 years of driving experience. When drivers receive their probationary license, they face restrictions including no driving between 11:01 p.m. and 5 a.m., no cell phones or handheld devices, and they must display a red decal on the upper left corner of both their front and rear license plates as required under Kiley's law. Violations of these probationary license restrictions carry serious consequences. A first offense results in a $100 fine, while second or subsequent violations lead to a 3-month license suspension and postponement of eligibility for a basic license for an equivalent period. If a permit holder submits fraudulent certification of the required 50 practice hours, they face a 6-month suspension of driving privileges. Additionally, drivers convicted of 2 or more moving violations totaling 4 or more points must complete a probationary driver school program. Any alcohol or drug-related offense, even if unrelated to driving, results in a 6-month license suspension. These violations also add points to the driver's record, which can lead to higher insurance rates and may require restarting the probationary period, extending delays for eligibility for a basic license. Looking ahead, there are more changes coming that drivers should prepare for. Starting January 2027, the Port Authority will begin phasing out the off-peak discount for cars and motorcycles. The current $2 discount will decrease by 50 cents per year over 4 years, until it disappears completely by 2031. Cashless tolling, which started on the Atlantic City Expressway, could expand to the Garden State Parkway and New Jersey Turnpike in the future, though no decisions have been made yet. NJ Transit is also evaluating how these transportation funding changes will affect public transit options across the state. Here's your 2025 versus 2026 comparison. The gas tax alone will cost an additional $50 to $60 per year for an average driver. The toll increases, while seemingly small at 3%, add up quickly for regular commuters. Someone who crosses the George Washington Bridge daily for work will pay an additional $190 per year just for that one toll. A family with 2 cars making typical commutes could see their annual transportation costs increase by $300 to $500. For families with teenage drivers, the new practice hour requirements mean a much longer process for obtaining a license, but potentially safer young drivers on the road. The e-bike law creates an entirely new bureaucratic process for what was previously an unregulated form of transportation. Tracy Noble from AAA Club Alliance puts it in perspective. We do have to pay for aging roads and bridges. Our infrastructure is critical, and we have so much of it here in New Jersey. The reality is that maintaining and improving New Jersey's extensive transportation network requires substantial funding, and these increases represent the cost of keeping the system functional. Ocean City Mayor Jay Gillian supports the e-bike law despite the bureaucratic burden, saying nobody likes more red tape, but the benefits of the new law far outweigh the inconvenience of the new registration requirements. The timing of these changes reflects broader national trends in transportation policy. States across the country are grappling with funding shortfalls as fuel efficiency improves and electric vehicle adoption increases, reducing traditional gas tax revenue. They're also dealing with new forms of transportation, like e-bikes that didn't exist when most traffic laws were written. For New Jersey drivers, 2026 represents a significant shift in how the state approaches transportation regulation and funding. The combination of increased costs and new requirements means that staying informed and compliant is more important than ever. The most immediate action items for drivers are clear. Budget for higher gas and toll costs, ensure you have Easy Pass to avoid even higher fees, and if you own an e-bike, start the licensing and registration process well before the July 19th deadline. These changes aren't going away, and they're likely just the beginning of a broader transformation in how states manage modern transportation systems. New Jersey drivers are experiencing firsthand what it means to be on the cutting edge of 21st century traffic law, with all the costs and complications that come with it.